Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Rodder 2 Brief. Today is going to be part 2 of the setting up of the coral quarantine tank that I got for 50 bucks on Amazon. I love this tank. You know, you could get like a regular aquarium from Petco or PetSmart or whatever, but then you got to buy all the stuff that goes along with it. This little cool tank is 4 gallons. It's perfect for a coral quarantine tank. We're going to set it up. I use the Miracle Mud from my second sump in the 125 gallon aquarium for the bacteria to grow or spread in that little tank. I'm going to buy the coral. We're going to get a coral today. Not sure which one I'm going to get. But anyway, I wanted to remind you to check out the Facebook group. Check out the video description on all the videos for the gear that I use. I get most of my stuff from Amazon. Unless it's Rod's food. I feed my fish pretty much just Rod's food. Also check out the video that I had when I met up with Rod. He talked about Rod's food and everything else. He's such a cool guy. He's got a cool guitar collection right up my alley, and we had a really cool time hanging out. I recommend this quarantine tank. They also sell a 25 gallon, which would be great for quarantine, or a separate aquarium. I showed you the unboxing of this tank. It's really great value. It's only 50 bucks from Amazon. It's awesome. On the left, I have a 4 or 5 gallon tank. I think it's a 4 gallon tank. That's a simple little glass box, standard aquarium from back in the day. You're going to put a pump and a heater and a power head in there. It's going to get filled up with stuff. So what I bought for 50 bucks, killer deal, was the one on the right. I put a link to this along with all the other gear that I use in the video description. It comes with everything except the heater. We're going to put the heater in there. We're going to put sand on the bottom. In this case, I'm going to be taking the Miracle Mud out of my sump. That's going to have all the bacteria and all the biological filtration needed to keep the corals healthy. When you buy new coral, I'm going to put it in this little 4 gallon tank to quarantine it for 6 weeks. That way, if there's any parasites in the water from the reef store that we buy the coral from, which more than likely there are, and if they're not, that's a bonus. You want to make sure those parasites are dead, and the way to do that is to keep the corals in a separate aquarium for 6 weeks. So if there's parasites in the water from the fish store, they'll come out, they'll multiply, they'll look for food, which is fish, and since there's not going to be any fish in that tank, the food source, parasites will die. They die after about 4 weeks. After they die, you do an extra week, 2 weeks, making it 6 weeks to make it safe. Then you know the water is completely fine, the corals will be fine, and then you put the coral in your main aquarium up here. You never want to put anything in your main display tank right from the store, because if you do that, parasites will multiply, they're going to get in your fish, whatever. Now it's true that corals do not host parasites. Parasites do not eat coral or inverts like starfish and all that, but the water that is contaminated possibly will be on the coral, and just one drop of that water put into your main tank will multiply those parasites at a rapid rate, and you don't want to have any ick in your water. I have this tank here for new corals, small enough because I'm not going to be purchasing like 100 corals at a time. I could fit a ton of coral in there, at least 3 dozen. This would be perfect to keep a pair of clowns for 6 weeks. Little clowns for 6 weeks. Now, when, like I said before, you want to have a separate tank for coral for quarantine and a separate tank for fish for quarantine, because in the fish quarantine tank, you're going to put dose mildly copper solution, because remember I said parasites will eat your fish? Well, they're going to eat your fish if there's parasites in that water, but the copper solution kills those parasites. Copper solution also kills coral, which is why you got to have 2 separate tanks, one for coral and starfish and snails and shrimp and all those things you get, inverts, because you can't put copper solution cupramine in with your corals and your inverts. That's why you need a separate tank for your fish. Now, if you get a tang fish, a larger fish, you're going to need a tank bigger than this, obviously. I would suggest at least a 28 gallon or a 45 gallon tank. They also have a 24 gallon and a 10 gallon. It's going to come with bio balls. You're going to put these in the back compartment. This is going to house your bacteria. I don't use these because this also holds on to fish waste, but since this is a coral tank, I guess I can put these in the back there. I don't like ever using these. I like to just rely on my sand. This isn't sand, it's Miracle Mud. It's got a ton of bacteria in it, which is good, which is what's needed for a saltwater tank. So I want to scoop some of that Miracle Mud out anyway. It's like 3-inch deep Miracle Mud bed, which would be perfect for this little 4-gallon. So bacteria will already be seeded for that tank. I don't have to put rocks in it or anything. All right, guys, here's that 4-gallon tank set up. Look how cool it looks. It's awesome. I've got like a 1-inch bed of Miracle Mud that I took from my second sump. The flow of this pump is very low, so it's just enough for coral. Little heater in there. You got your sponge in there. 50 bucks. Can't beat it. It's made really well. Link to this in the video description. Leia, come here. Hi, babe. You went outside. You did, little beast. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a like. And let me know what you're doing for quarantining your corals or your fish. I know a lot of people don't do it. They put fish right into their display when they get them, and you never want to do that. I've got videos showing why. If that water's infected from the fish store, you put that fish in there, you're just going to spread disease in your tank. People say once you have ick parasite in your aquarium, I know you're sick of hearing me saying that, but that's what this channel is based on. People say once you have ick in your aquarium, you're always going to have it. That's a lie. My tank has no ick in it whatsoever because I never allowed it in. And if you watch my videos, you'll know why. Also, in the video description, I've got a link to a book that I wrote on how to kill ick in marine velvet. And you don't allow it in your tank and how to do it forever. It's on Amazon. It's like a couple bucks. Check out that link. It's like over 60 pages and it'll solve your problems. Alright, guys, have a great weekend and I'll see you next time.